All right, this is fascinating. Jerry Jeudy is having a career year. Yesterday, it came out that the Jets helped us immensely when their owner, Woody Johnson, allegedly passed on trading for Jerry Jeudy because his boys said he didn't have a good Madden rating. It's phenomenal. That's a story. That's a Brownsian story, if there ever was one. I'm glad to hear that it happened to somebody else. Having a career year, he was having that year with Jameis Winston. Jerry said this week, I'm happy that DTR is the quarterback. You buying that?
No, because DTR is not as good as Jameis Winston. And Jameis, because he's a gunslinger, and he'll throw picks, but that means they're going to keep throwing because they got to try to come back. So, Jameis, every week we expected him to throw for a ton of yards. What did we all say about DTR? We all said about 175 yards. Now, I still think Jerry Jeudy can have 75, 80 yards playing with DTR because he's the #1 target. But, no, if I'm Jerry Jeudy, I would rather Jameis be playing.
Of course, he's going to say all the right things.
Yeah, right.
But ultimately, I don't know that he really needs to be all that upset. He's already gotten paid. If he was in a contract year, I'd understand being a little aggravated or upset by it. He already got his money, and he's already got his 1,000-yard season. So there's nothing else for him personally to accomplish other than to run up the total on his final yardage number. So, and I'm sure he realizes for the betterment of if he's committed to Cleveland for right now, like he signed the contract, see what the kid's got so that the organization knows going forward. I don't know what else there is for him on a personal level to play for.
Mike thinks he could be an all-pro, which is not true, but Mike thinks
No, I don't think so.
I said he was in the conversation.
I don't think
I did. That is a fabrication. He did say he was in the conversation. I'll come to your credit.
Yeah, he did. He didn't say he was an all-pro.
Now,
I don't believe he's in the conversation.
How deep does the all-pro conversation go? 4?
There's 4, yeah.
Well, 4 make it, so you're in the conversation. You're top 6, 7.
Yeah, and I think he is in the top 6,
honorable
7.
mention. That's what they have that for.
Yeah,
shout out to Jerry Jeudy because a lot of people was hating on this move. A lot of people didn't like the move of Jerry Jeudy. They thought he was a #2. There's a lot of people that said that he was not that good. He was inconsistent, dropped a lot of footballs.
Well, that's all true.
He's inconsistent, not that good.
Well, not this year, but he was before this year.
I said, well, here's the great thing. When you have a year like this, you shut people up.
Yeah,
You'd be like, yeah, hi, guys. I went to Denver and smoked you. I like when people can talk trash. And by the way, when you feeling good about yourself and you've been balling, he's like, listen, I'm the #1 receiver. DTR ain't got nobody else to throw it to. Push come to shove, where you going to throw it?
Yeah, but neither did Deshaun.
Well, that's a whole other story.
That's true.
And I went back, and first of all, I think you're right, Jay.
Although he had Amari Cooper.
I think, yeah. Well, how'd that work out?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think he's paid. If this was a year where he was in a contract, or if he had a big escalator for being all-pro, you'd be like, whoa. That's like, sitting a guy that's about to hit his at-bat incentive.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't mess with that. You're messing with the guy's money. He's got his money, so I think he's good. But I did some numbers. This is unbelievable to me. I think it's a huge indictment on Deshaun Watson, but it also brings up other questions, I think, about Jerry Jeudy. 7 games with Deshaun Watson as the starter. He averaged 3 catches and 38 yards a game. This is for the guy that we brought in to replace Amari as our new #1. He had 1 total touchdown. 7 games with Jameis Winston as the starter. Again, 3 and 38. 7 catches a game, 112 yards a game average. He tripled his yardage per game. More than doubled his catches. He scored 3 touchdowns. So he's a bit of an enigma, Jerry Jeudy. He wasn't great when he was in Denver. He showed flashes of brilliance. He's shown flashes of brilliance here. I think what it tells me more than anything is you have to have a quarterback that's willing to push the ball to your #1 even when it's a tight window. Jameis had the kind of arm that he could do that.
Well, Jameis was the first adequate quarterback he's played with, to be fair to him. I mean, he played with terrible quarterbacks in Denver, except for Russell Wilson, who was adequate last year, and he didn't have a good year with Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson's the worst quarterback in the league, so he struggled with him.
3 and 38 with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You know what you did? You did something Texas courts couldn't do. You got an indictment on Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And you can indict a ham sandwich. You can. Oh, well, Jerry, we hope you continue the success. I do think that he could still have a big game tomorrow because Cincinnati's pass defense is probably slightly better than if the four of us would put on uniforms and go, no, I'm
Mike,
kidding.
by the way, what's the argument? So who is he getting in over as the fourth?
He didn't say he was getting in over anyone. He just said he's in the conversation.
Who's the argument against?
So the top four guys
Yeah.
right now would
You're
be
giving one statistic.
Jamar
just
Chase,
yardage.
Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Right now, today, those are your four.
Right, he's got no
receivers.
argument against any of those guys.
I'm not making the argument,
Yeah.
Bull. He's now 5th in yardage, so he'd be in the conversation for that next tier, the honorable mention list, with guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba, who has less yards but one more touchdown. Terry McLaurin, he has more yards than but fewer touchdowns. He's tied with Brock Bowers, who's a tight end, different position.
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey and Brian Thomas Jr. have fewer yards, slightly more touchdowns. And then Garrett Wilson, who has one more touchdown but
and a lot of those guys are on winning teams, Mike.
Winning teams does not make it.
Mike's right. Mike's right.
No,
He's
he's
in
in
the
the conversation.
He's in the
I agree with
You took
Mike.
that L.
No.
That's a
Wait a
L.
second.
That's a huge L.
The All-Pro is top 4.
Yes.
He just said the top 4, but he's in the honorable mention.
He didn't
below
say
that.
he's in the top 4. He said he's in the conversation. And
He
he's
said he's in the conversation for an All-Pro.
Yes.
To be in the conversation for All-Pro, you have to reach the top 4. There's no argument for him being in the
No,
top
to
4.
win, you
he's
have to be in the
going to
top
be.
4.
He
To
didn't-
win, you have to be in the top
He
4.
has 3 more games.
All the guys you mentioned, none of those guys are going to be All-Pro.
Correct.
Mike.
No,
He
but they're
said
all
who
in the
the 4 are.
conversation.
No,
all
they're
guys
not.
And here's why.
Question for the panel: how do you spell bull? Does it have one L, or do you have to hold 2 Mike to spell bull?
There is no argument. He's
Shout out
not
to-
in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the conversation.
I'll
Amon-Ra
make
St.
the
Brown
argument for
is
you.
the 4th
I'll make the
All-Pro.
argument for you right now.
There's no argument.
Half of his season, he played with
Irrelevant.
a quarterback. No,
Irrelevant.
it's not irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
Half of his season,
Yeah.
he played with a quarterback who wasn't just bad this year.
Yeah.
He was so bad, we were mentioning his name as historically bad all
Irrelevant.
time. Jason, you
Irrelevant.
had some metrics that showed he was bottom 2
It's
or
irrelevant.
3.
Yeah.
He's
But,
not
I
gonna-
mean,
For the last 10 years.
Bull's right on that. That's not going to.
There's no argument
You're
for
not
it.
going to
No, but
curry
you have
points
to
because of
think
that.
about that.
not thinking about it.
Listen,
record
he's
has
not
nothing
going
to do with it either.
He's not
There's
going to be
no
all-pro.
argument. If you want to say he's in the discussion for All-Pro alternate, I don't even know if there's such a thing.
May I ask one more question?
3rd round, okay, I'll give you that, but he's not.
Ask away.
Just a yes or no question for G. Bush. Is this a conversation show?
Yes.
Is Jerry Jeudy being mentioned in a conversation about all-pro receivers
Because
right
you
now?
said he belonged in
Yes.
the conversation.
So Jerry
I think
Jeudy-
Okay,
By fact
show
of
of
the
hands.
matter.
Does he belong in the conversation?
You're all wrong.
You've
Well,
been voted off the island.
What's his argument against Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Nobody is saying he's going to win, but anytime
No, he
you
won't
have,
win. I'll say
anytime you have like Coach of the Year voting or MVP voting,
Yeah.
you've got the winners, and then you've got everybody
But
else.
he's not in the
He's
discussion.
in the everybody else.
Nobody that's voting for that is discussing him. None.
How do you
There's
know
no
that?
consideration.
How do you know that?
extrapolate
Because
his
what's his
numbers-
argument against Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Well, there is no argument.
Exactly. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is last.
No. You don't have to argue against somebody to say somebody else is in the
He's
mix.
not in the discussion with the top 4 guys. He's not.
So he's fifth in yards, but he's not in the discussion.
No, because the top 4 is clear.
Nobody's saying he should win.
He's
Nobody's
5th in
saying
yards, and he has like 3
How many-
touchdowns.
If you take his averages with Winston and take them for the
That's
first 7
irrelevant,
games,
Jay.
he's
Nobody's
got
considering that.
1,600 yards receiving.
Irrelevant.
How many
1,600 yards
yards-
receiving,
It's
you're in the
irrelevant. Nobody
conversation.
cares
He doesn't
about
have
that.
1,600.
What is
No,
Amon-Ra
but I'm
St.
just
Brown?
saying,
What is
it's not
Amon-Ra
his
St.
fault,
Brown's
Jameis.
numbers? Amon-Ra St. Brown have what is his numbers?
He has 25 more catches than Jerry.
Okay.
He has 4 more yards, a much lower yards per catch average.
Okay.
He has 10 touchdowns, which
I mean,
is tough
stop
to
it.
argue.
He has 10 touchdowns,
No,
but he
that's
has 4
great.
more. That's nice.
But I'm still saying
Stop
that
it.
if Jameis was the quarterback for the first 7 games, he would be right there.
No,
His
he
numbers would be right there.
He had 3 touchdowns
He'd
in
be
7
leading
games with
he'd be
Jameis.
leading the
He'd
league
be on
in
pace.
yards.
He'd be. Who cares? You can go anybody like that.
So?
Let's
He'd
go
be
to a
leading
wide
the league in
receiver who played.
catches. He'd be leading the league in
Nick
catches.
Chubb was on his way to be an MVP at running back last year. That one game was huge.
Keep balling. Keep balling.
Nobody's
I got 3 more
factoring in.
games.
Here's the problem. Now with Jameis out, those numbers are going to regress. Big time.
If he put 200 up, now you want
Jerry
now
Jeudy's having a hell of a season. He's
you
going to be
make
a
me-
Pro Bowler.
You make me want to now say that the Browns are going to win, but I can't even do that.
Yeah, don't go there.
Jerry
Don't go there.
Jeudy
Settle down.
is having a hell of a season. He belongs in the Pro Bowl conversation. He will be a Pro Bowler because many of the good wide receivers, top guys, are in the NFC. He belongs as a Pro Bowler. He has earned that. He's doing well. There's no argument for him over any of the top 4 guys. None whatsoever. You know that, Mike.
None of us will make it, but we all agree that he should be mentioned in the conversation.
No.
Otherwise, you just
If you
name
can't
the
make an
4 that are gonna
argument
make
for,
it.
if you can't make an argument for him as a top 4
I made one.
Season.
I made one. He played half the season with the historically worst quarterback.
That doesn't get you in the top 4.
Right, it gets him. No, it doesn't get him in the top 4. I'm not making. But what I'm saying is, if I think he's in the conversation as one of the best receivers.
CD Lamb the Cowboys have had terrible quarterback play this year.
Yeah, I know.
Keep
He's in the
falling.
conversation
Should
too.
should we say what would his numbers be if Dak Prescott was as good as last year?
But I'll throw CD Lamb in the conversation.
No, CD Lamb is in there. He's a top 4 guy.
Okay.
He has excelled even with crappy quarterbacks.
And is Jameis Winston a crappy quarterback?
No, he's average.
Okay.